Hi, everybody. This is Saad. First of all, happy Father's Day to all fathers out there. We are a bi-parental species. No other mammal has fathers who are as committed to their offspring as the human animal. And so, of course, mothers are necessary and needed, but so are fathers. So, happy Father's Day. I apologize if the use of the word mother or father is in any way offensive to people. As you probably know, I prefer to refer to, fathers and mothers as non-arboreal, multicellular, carbon-based caretakers. So maybe I should use that instead. In any case, also I should mention that today, June 21st, is the 26th anniversary of my defending my doctorate, my PhD at Cornell University. And it is the summer solstice. So there you have it, a trio. Father's Day, or rather Godfather's Day. PhD defense 26 years ago, summer solstice. So today what I wanted to do is spend a few minutes reading to you part of an email that I just received. Again, let me reiterate that you cannot begin to imagine the number of emails that I receive from students, professors, parents of students, all of whom are sharing with me their despair at what is taking place at the university. So to those of you who say, oh, but aren't you exaggerating? Isn't this just a passing fad? You are part of the problem. I've been warning about this for well over 2 decades. And now everything is coming to fruition. So this is a email. The entire email is worth reading, but I'm just going to take a few little snippets from it. This is a gentleman who writes to me who is, I am a straight white male in my early 30s. And the reason why he says that is because being straight, being white, and being male really puts him at a disadvantage in academia. That's a great thing to have, no? Immutable characteristics that put you behind the 8 ball. What a wonderful, liberating idea. A U.S. Army veteran who fought in Afghanistan and Iraq during Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. So this is someone who certainly is a fighter, literally fighting against some really nasty folks, but he's writing to me because he's very afraid. See this hero, this fighter who fought in Afghanistan and Iraq? He's very afraid. You know what he's afraid of? Not the terrorists in Afghanistan, not the terrorists in Iraq, the terrorists on university campuses. That's right. Remember I talked to you about intellectual terrorists? Incidentally, for those of you who don't know, in my forthcoming book, The Parasitic Mind, my first chapter is about the 2 great wars that I have faced in my life. The Lebanese Civil War as a child, and then the war on reason that I have faced as a academic, as a professor. So, excuse me. So this gentleman writes to me, sets the ground for what he wishes to do. He wishes to go to graduate school in a field that is laden with these idea pathogens that I discuss in my forthcoming book. He's very concerned because he's stuck. He doesn't know what he should do. Is it even feasible for him to navigate the ideological minefields that so many people find themselves facing these days? So I'll just read you one of the last sentences. So he lays out the whole ground. He shares with me some of the idea pathogens that he's seeing in his own, in his own field of study and so on, which, I've discussed all this for many, many years. And then he asks, the question I pose to you is how to proceed. Do I bite my tongue through years of work until I'm tenured? That's a long road ahead. Do I force myself to navigate only to institutions where I might find kindred free-thinking advisors, even if that severely limits the geographical and institutional domain I'm afforded liberty at? Do I give in to the demands of these ideological tyrants and weave into my work elements of their agenda so as to purchase entry into the conversation? How do I go forward in graduate study and beyond when I fear that this is the landscape that awaits me? So again, stop for a second and think. This is a person who had the courage to go out and fight in environments that few of us will ever fathom. So he is certainly not lacking courage. He is certainly not a coward. He is certainly someone who fights for his ideals and values, right? I mean, he has been placed in the most difficult of battlefield theaters, and yet what is making him shake in fear, in confusion, is the intellectual terrorism that he's going to face should he decide to pursue an academic career, should he go to graduate school. Does it seem like this gentleman is exaggerating? How many more letters do I have to read to you before you maybe wake up and say, you know what, I'm not giving any money to my alma mater. You know what, when my son or daughter comes home and shares with me the kind of nonsense that they are learning at their elementary school, at their high school, at their university, oh, I'm going to get involved. Oh, I'm going to vote out any politicians who are walking instantiations of these idea pathogens. Okay. This gentleman is not a figment of my imagination. He fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's afraid to go on a campus in the United States or at other top Western universities because he knows that that's a fight that he probably can't win. And so I fight for him and for all others who are facing the brutal silencing of their right to engage in free inquiry. Now, to answer the gentleman in question, look, it's really a struggle between whether you wish to be fully pragmatic, which means let me bite my tongue. But by the way, you'll bite your tongue through grad school, then you'll bite your tongue through tenure, then you'll bite your tongue to get your full professorship, then you'll bite your tongue to get a chaired professorship, and then you will be biting your tongue as you await execution in the gulag. So, as you know, being probably, I don't know, the only one in academia who is this outspoken, others once in a while make little forays, but they're certainly not as dogged and as persistent, and certainly not while they are academics from the Viper's Den. Of course, my advice would be speak truth. Because as I've explained previously, what compels me to put on all this extra burden on my shoulders is that I have an exacting code of personal conduct, which is when I go to bed at night, if I feel as though I haven't done all that I can, however big or however small, to fight for truth, to fight for true liberal values, to fight for freedom, then I feel like I'm a fraud, and therefore I fight. And I've channeled my inner honey badger since I came out of my mother's womb, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. May it last forever. And so I don't want to tell this young man, go ahead and fight, and then, he gets canceled. But it's a personal choice. Do you wish to live a full life? Certainly as an intellectual. How could you be an intellectual and bite your tongue for the next 25 years? It's like saying you're an oncologist, but I'm just going to turn a blind eye to the metastatic cancer that is afflicting all of my patients because, maybe it's more pragmatic for me to ignore it. So it's up to you, my young friend. I can't tell you what to do, but I can give you the two options. I hope you take whichever one makes you sleep well at night. And I don't mean that in a facetious way, because I truly do understand that many people just simply don't have it in them to rise up and face the idea pathogens that are drowning all of us. Others do. Now, someone who has fought in Iraq and Afghanistan certainly has the courage for a physical battle. The question is, do you have the courage for an intellectual battle? I wish you well. Take care, everybody. Ciao.